Beautiful. Go for it. It is 5 o'clock, almost.
Yep, so we're close enough to 5 o'clock. We have all the intended people on hand. That would be myself, Councilperson Brian Wolf, Committee Chair for the Safety Committee, Councilpersons Mark Bruger and Tony Benedetti. We have Police Chief Delp and Mayor Hughes. So the first item on the agenda is a final review of the proposed rules for the basketball court. Let me share my screen quickly and pull up what I have. Once we'll read through these really quickly, and then if there's any last minute changes or adjustments, there is one I see already. So, and then we'll just make this as a recommendation at the next council meeting to adopt by motion, and then we can make signs, is my thought on that from a process standpoint. So rule number 1, use basketball court at your own risk. 2, full court games may only be played if no other players are waiting. Limit play time to something. We never determine that something if other people are waiting to play. So why don't we'll circle back on that something at the end. Do not hang on the rim. Proper footwear required. No lowering of the hoops. No glass or alcoholic beverages. Why don't we change no glass containers? Because I've never seen a glass beverage. No glass containers or alcoholic beverages. Place trash in trash cans. No fighting, no weapons. So was there anything glaringly missing to any of the people here? All right, then say it again, Mark.
Nothing on my end.
All right, then let's circle back to number 3, limit play to X if other people are waiting. Anybody have a sense of an appropriate amount of time? 20 minutes?
30 minutes?
30 minutes?
I'd say at least 30. I mean,
Yeah,
30 it is.
It was an hour.
yeah, I was going between 30 minutes and an hour.
All right, why don't we, yeah,
We can discuss this in council maybe.
well,
legislative.
yeah, well, I don't know that this is anything that needs legislation, right? My intention was
That's
just
right. All right.
to have a motion to adopt these as basketball court rules, because I don't know that it needs to be codified as an ordinance.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
Right.
30 minutes just seems a little short.
What's the difference for 45?
I mean, the other way to accomplish the same things is because my recollection when I used to actually play basketball in public courts was that you would play a game to a certain point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'd, limit play to games of X many points, right? You play a game to 21, or you play a game to, that would be the other way to accomplish the same goal. All we're looking to do is say, be fair to the people that are waiting.
Maybe it'd be better for me to ask somebody that plays basketball more, because I don't.
Yeah, I had hoped to get Tracy Gosh on, but
My kids.
I
I'll see what
hadn't
my
seen
kids
him.
say. I mean, we don't need to finalize the minutes right at this moment.
No, I don't think so. We can have a quick conversation about this at the next council meeting, I guess. But other than that, that's the end of that discussion. So we're not looking to add any more. We're not looking to remove any more. We are solely going to update that number of minutes. X.
Yeah, that sounds
minutes.
good.
If I could spell minutes, that would be great. Okay. So then we'll end that discussion. I'm thinking Mayor Hughes ran off to get her kid who plays basketball and get a number of minutes.
Okay, but yeah, and here's what's funny. I thought that was the dumbest. Okay, don't take this wrong. I thought playing to a number is stupid. Except the first thing he says is a game to 21.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So why don't we change it to that? Limit play to games to 21 points. Limit play to
Like, he didn't even
Games
hesitate. That was the funny part.
to
Yeah,
21.
even I can remember that. And
Nice.
or you do 11 by ones, which is the
Yeah.
same, essentially 21.
If other people, they don't need to be other, they can just be people. If people are waiting to play. Good, everybody's good with this?
There you go.
All right, then we're gonna call that done. The other outstanding item that we've been working on in this committee is parking from here to corner. I think Chief Mayor Hughes was saying that you had done a little looking into this and had an update. Here, I'll stop sharing my screen too. It'll make world
Hang
of-
on, before you go to chief, I have 1 second on there.
Yeah,
Where it says no fighting, no weapons or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm asking this as a resident that lives close by. Is there anywhere that we should entertain? Because again, I know that the foul language has been brought up. I don't know that you can even put that. I'm just merely saying, can you really even say that? And I'm only asking as the residents that don't like the foul language or the foul music that's played. Do we leave it alone?
I personally would leave that alone because then you have to define what is foul.
There you go.
And I can assure you that my definition of foul is way different than many other people's. And then you also come into free speech issues, right? So
I think I really just wanted to ask that question just so we addressed it, because that is something that a lot of people have asked, and I'm not in disagreement with you. But I know we didn't at least mention something like that into why we came up with the answer that we did. If anybody has any.
There are two other people in the committee. They're welcome to speak their opinion on this. If I'm outnumbered, I'm outnumbered.
I don't
Tony?
mind. The sad reality is that when you leave your house, you can be exposed to foul language, pictures of aborted fetuses. You can't. I mean, I don't want to see that, hear it, but it's part of going out in public, and I don't want to get into trying to to come up with a rule to
Right.
make that go away.
Right. Or even
I said
deciding
my
what
piece
is,
on that.
or even deciding what is foul, right? For some people, it's poo-poo, and for other people, it's other, more graphic things. And,
Right.
Matt,
Bringing up aborted fetus pictures, I'd like to pass some kind of a law where that was illegal.
exactly. Exactly. Marker, do you have anything to add to that?
Once again, you're not going to be able to regulate teenagers being out there and saying things.
Well, and the music, that's the big thing too, is that there's some music out there that's pretty graphic.
Yeah, that would be an understatement. So I get it. Okay, again, I merely
Video
wanted,
games and
I merely
I grew up in the early, I was in high school in the early 90s, and the rap music back then was far more offensive than it is now. And I ended up
I think it
okay.
depends.
yeah, you can find it then and now.
Hey, Mark, I promise you it's probably worse now. And I'm not going to tell you how I know that, but it's, but again,
I don't
it's,
know how familiar you are with the first solo album by Eazy-E. Easy Does It, but I can still remember some of the lyrics, and I'm not sure they've gotten worse than that.
okay.
All right, so now we can move on to parking. Chief Delp, sorry to tease you on that, but we had started to discuss universally or more generally posting a no parking from here to corner. And I think you had taken away the idea of addressing some sort of a standard. And I think I had heard that Eric Fisher was engaged in this as well. But Mayor Hughes, before we started, said you might have an update for us.
Well, last I spoke with Eric, MI is agreeable to putting up the signs. What Eric is going to require, like I gave him a list of locations where we want the no parking here to corner, just because of the design of and location of the stop signs. What he wants to do is actually get a GIS map and put them on there so that there's no question with MI when they place them. The Only one that comes to mind is Alder Vista and Lakewood. On the basketball court side of Alder Vista, we may have to put one there. If you recall, there was the silver car that was parked there for a while.
Yeah.
And that's something we may want to discuss, simply because in the summertime, there's going to be cars parked there. The one side won't be parked. As you come out onto Maplewood, cars coming in off of Maplewood would have to wait for the cars to leave, and that's just going to be,
Yeah.
that may be an area of congestion just in general, and there may not be anything we can do about that. But if we're going to put one there, we would be responsible for putting the one there.
Sure.
That's our property. And
I kind of feel like we should look at having the appetite of putting several of these around, because while you're saying the corner of Alder Vista at Lakewood by the basketball court, and I'm sure it's just because it's my experience and where I live and where I drive, but that same intersection, but the corner, the travel side, I'm trying to, across the street from the playground, basically, right? When you're coming on Lakewood to that intersection, going toward the basketball court, right? So the playground is on your left, right? Correct. And you're heading from my house towards Mark's house, if that helps anybody, right? When there's a car parked there at that intersection, you wind up having to go into the other lane of travel at the intersection. And that happens quite frequently.
Right.
So
we can discuss maybe putting up some safety zones at those locations, just to basically, there's a bus stop there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it may be best to have some safety zones on both sides of that intersection on Maplewood, so that it gives better sight lines for people approaching that bus stop anyway.
Sure.
But yeah, there were several that I sent to him. A lot of the places in MI, the subdivision, you already have no parking on this side of the road. So when those intersections come up, they can't park there anyway. So it's not an issue. It's just the issue where you have a stop sign, and the side opposite the stop sign, parking is allowed.
Right.
In that place, we want to put that buffer zone in. So I identified 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, plus the Alder Vista location, which we own. So we would be required to put the sign there.
Sure. Is there a standard? Is it 20 feet? Or is it just going to be our own best?
That's up to us.
Okay.
There's no parking 15 feet from a stop sign, but I suggested we double that and make it 30.
Okay. I almost think I am certain there are places in the village where people are parking regularly parking within 15 feet of stop signs. The one that I was talking about in particular has people parking at it. Oh, maybe there isn't a stop sign there.
There's no stop sign.
Maybe that's the problem, is that's what the reason is. That's why you wind up into the oncoming lane of travel, is because you have to go around the car, but you're continuing through. There you go. So never mind. I was just dumb there for a second. Please excuse my.
Just being overzealous.
That happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
The other issue that MI is going to correct is on Wolf Birch, the signs, no parking signs say no parking at any time. Those should say no parking this side of the street. So they will have those swapped out. They were going to get them done when they put in the speed limit signs, but apparently the signs didn't come in. So Eric is going to get together with me to go onto a map and actually put them on there, so they can go to MI and say, sign here, sign here, sign here, sign here, rather than just giving the written locations. So
Right.
That's where all that's at. It seems that it'll get done. It's just a matter of another one of those punch list items that
Sure.
that Eric likes to talk about.
Yeah. I do think that we need to review, and this is for the other committee members, for next month. I know I will take a a stab and drive around the village and sort of map out where I think we might have this need elsewhere. It'd be great if the other committee members and the mayor, if you guys want to take a stab at looking and seeing what you think, and if we have a consensus on a handful of places, I think these would be good signs for general well-being to add about.
So yeah, at this time, the only real traffic issues we've encountered have been on the new subdivision. But I think a lot of that was perhaps some construction work as well, where they were parked in that intersection. There is the one issue coming off of Black Sycamore on the Quiet Brook Vale, but we spoke to the car owners and they've tried to keep the vehicles parked further down the road. And that hasn't been as much of an issue lately as it was in the past. So, but yeah, I mean, if we feel like there's some places where it's causing an issue, certainly we can bring those up. Most of the locations in the village where those would occur don't have too much traffic that it would cause an issue, and locations of driveways and such kind of like self-police that. So, but yeah, anything that the committee wants to go out and investigate, feel free. But the only place we really noticed it being a problem was Green Line and Black Sycamore and Quiet Brook Vale.
Yeah, those were the two that I think had brought this discussion out. So, but I for neatness and completeness, I think we should review the rest of the village as well. And I think that's something to go over for next month's meeting. Beyond that, that was everything I had scheduled to cover today. I apologize, I guess, for having y'all log in for such a short meeting, but short is better than too long. Maybe we can average it out against some of those longer ones another time. Unless anybody else has something else they wanted to bring up, I will adjourn the meeting. Going once?
See whoever's going to community.
Going twice.
Community.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, anybody who's sticking around for community, enjoy that. We'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day. Yeah.
Bye.